Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WWE News and Rumors. I'm your host, Brandon Hodge. This video is brought to you guys by SeatGeek. So if you guys are looking for tickets for any event in the entire world, get them through SeatGeek. Use my last name, code Hodge, at checkout as your promo code over on SeatGeek. You'll get $20 off of your tickets. It's good for first-time orders only. So you guys, if you've used SeatGeek before, make a new account, new email, you can still use the code and get $20 off for any ticket for any event in the entire world. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so let's go ahead and kick off this episode with the first confirmed news story of the day. We're talking about Chris Jericho. We're talking about Mr. Y2J. So we're talking about Chris Jericho. So what are we talking about Chris Jericho about? Well, basically, there's been a lot of rumors going around that Jericho might be on his way back to the WWE. Of course, former wrestler Chris Jericho in the WWE. And yeah, he was in the AEW, he's done his stuff, but it's been an absolute legend in the world of WWE. I mean, he debuted in the year 2000, he was in the Attitude Era. Everyone should know who this guy is. But basically, yeah, there's been those rumors that maybe his contract in AEW is expiring, and he's on his way back to WWE to maybe do like a little, maybe one last run, maybe like a retirement tour like Cena's doing, and maybe, you know, have one last run, retire, go in the Hall of Fame. Definitely a Hall of Famer here. But anyway, he was asked in an interview like this week if he would come back to WWE, and he said he's not opposed to it. He's open to whatever. He doesn't know what the future holds, and we'll just have to see. But of course, he's currently under contract with AEW, so he really can't talk that much about WWE and possibly leaving his current contract to go somewhere else. And he can't talk about that for many reasons, plus he doesn't want to spoil the surprise. So I'm pretty sure Jericho is on his way back to WWE, but we will just have to wait and see. But Chris Jericho's not turning it down. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that's actually the only confirmed news story we talked about today. So ladies and gentlemen, it's that time. We're going to talk about some rumors now. Now, these are unconfirmed kind of news things. They could be true, they could not be true, but for the most part, we hope they are true. All right, for the first rumor of the day, we got about John Cena. John Cena's retirement match. So John Cena's retiring this year. At some point this year, there will be a retirement match. His last match ever, which is kind of hard to believe that he's never going to come back like ever again and have more matches. Like even The Rock does that, and The Rock's been a movie star for forever. Like, come on, what's going on here? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But basically, the retirement tour, the last match on the retirement tour, has always planned to be at Saturday Night's Main Event, as we all know. And Saturday Night's Main Event in December, we've been saying for months, and I mean literally months, that it's happening in Boston, because Boston is like the closest city to like John Cena's hometown. So it's kind of like a hometown show for Cena. His last match in his hometown, that's just absolutely perfect. But there's a big but. Apparently Boston has been outbid for the show. Wait, what? Did he just give it to Boston for Cena's last match? No, there's all about money in this industry, and whoever's paying more money to have the show there is going to get it. And basically, a city way outbid them, and they're getting the show, and it's pretty much locked in at this point. That Saturday Night's Main Event in December, John Cena's last match will actually be taking place in none other than Washington, D.C. It'll be happening in D.C. They actually outbid Boston for the show. So, yeah, apparently that's where it's happening. And they announced that, they've already announced is that Cena's going to be on like some Raw or something in Boston. And then it'll be his last like hometown appearance ever or whatever. And also the New York City show or whatever. But basically they says that like the Saturday Night's Main Event, Cena's last match in this retirement tour will not be taking place in Boston. It will be taking place in DC. All right, the next rumor of the day, we'll be talking about the Beast Incarnate Brock Lesnar here. So this is about Brock Lesnar's current WWE contract. So I think he's still currently working on his old contract, like he had before, like the hiatus for a few years, because they kind of just paused the contract or whatever. Ultimately, there's very, very few dates left on his contract, and so like very few appearances or whatever. And I don't know the specifics of it. No one really knows the specifics of it. But to guess, he's going to be doing the build-up for the WrestlePalooza show. He's going to be WrestlePalooza. He's going to go away after that magically. He might show back up for Survivor Series. Probably not. And then maybe he'll pop up in Rumble and WrestleMania. And that's basically like his limited dates, unless there's like some kind of special show they need the guy for. I don't know the specifics of it, because I thought he was only on so many of these like international shows he's doing. But they just randomly announced this like, in-states pay-per-view in Indiana for him to wrestle on. So maybe the contract's something where he doesn't have to go overseas or anything. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But apparently Brock Lesnar is on a very limited contract right now, and it really needs kind of a redone or like a new contract after this one done, because it's very, very limited. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is the final news story, the final rumor, the final thing I'm going to be talking about inside this episode of WWE News Rumors. We're talking about none other than the biggest return in professional wrestling this year. We're talking about the return of AJ Lee. If you don't know what just happened this week, where have you been? Have you been living on a rock? Because it's literally plastered everywhere you look, everywhere you turn on the internet. Oh, there she is, because it's just such a big return. I mean, this is something they've teased and talked about forever, and there's been rumors of her returning forever and ever, and then it's like, she's returning this night at the Rumble. She didn't show up. She's returning this night at WrestleMania. She didn't show up. She's returning SummerSlam. She didn't show up. And there's so much so that the memes were coming up of being like, well, the AJ Lee's like face, and like someone would send you on the text messages and be like, what does that mean? It means I'm not coming. So it was like a whole meme, like her not even showing up. So that's how much she has not shown up. I mean, it's not on her. It's just like people are like, they worked out a deal and all this. So ultimately, I got some rumors about her return that just happened this last Friday and why it's happened. So why now? Why was she not wanting to return? I don't know if it wasn't, she wasn't wanting to return. It was WWE weren't really pushing for it that hard. But since this new ESPN deal, they really wanted a giant return to wrestling for their first premium live event on the ESPN deal to get people over there and subscribing to ESPN and ready to watch the show. So they said, we need a huge return that everyone's gonna have to see. So let's push for AJ Lee really hard. So I guess that means they offered her a lot of pretty much everything, but a lot of money specifically. Like, this is a very huge deal. And the next update I have about AJ Lee in the WWE is actually about her contract. So this isn't like she's at WrestlePalooza, she's wrestling, she's back to help her husband, and then she's going off. She's just like, what if for hire help for her husband? No, it's not that. She's actually signed an actual contract. I mean, we saw her sign the thing with Triple H, but we don't know what the paper said. Ultimately, the rumors are saying the paper said that it is a multi-year full-time wrestling contract. You heard me right. She's not back for one more match, a few more matches. She's not back to be a part-timer. She's back to be a full-time wrestler, which is absolutely insane. She has not been an active wrestler in like 10 years, which is absolutely insane. Obviously, you couldn't tell. She stayed in great shape, and she's been doing so many other projects and things like that, but she retired from wrestling back then, and now she's back being a full-time wrestler, which is so freaking cool, and I can't wait to see where this goes. And I know everyone's very excited to see where this goes, but apparently AJ Lee, you heard me right. They brought her back, offered her all this money for the ESPN deal so there's more eyes on it, but also she's back to be a full-time wrestler for multi-freaking years, which is going to be so cool to see how this plays out, and she's going to dominate the women's division, so this is so freaking cool. So there you guys have it. That is today's news and rumors. Let me know your thoughts on all these news stories and rumors in the comment section down below. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your king of Vlogstyle, Brandon Hodge, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.